Norfolk-based aircraft carrier will leave the Red Sea to undergo repairs at the U.S. Navy base on Crete.
Yeah, this comes after a fire aboard, and Derek Lytle spoke with the woman who has a loved one on board and learned more about the conditions that the sailors are enduring.
Yeah, Janet, Dana, I revisited with Brianna Caudill. You know, her sister is on the USS Gerald R. Ford, and she says anytime she wakes up and reads some of the headlines, this one being a New York Times story saying more than 600 sailors have lost their beds and have since been bunking down on floors and tabletops. She is horrified and wants her sister home immediately. United States Central Command says a fire on board the USS Gerald R. Ford started in the ship's main laundry spaces on March 12th.
To be honest with you, Derek, anytime I read an article, I hate to admit, but I've been really reading them for the past couple of days. It's just horrific.
Caudill referring to multiple reports circulating, one from the New York Times saying the fire took 30 hours to put out and 600 sailors are without beds. Another from the U.S. Naval Institute News saying more than 200 sailors were treated for smoke inhalation and one was medically evac'd from the ship. A U.S. defense official told 13 News Now they say only 100 sailors' beds were damaged and only 12 were treated for inhalation, adding sailors have cots, not tables, to sleep on. Still, for family thousands of miles away, it's a daunting read.
That our sailors would be sleeping on tables or even sleeping on floors. They didn't choose to be treated like this. It has to be better conditions. We have to do better.
Caudill says she spoke to her sister ABA and Tiffany Galarza briefly after the fire, and while they did not go into detail out of fear of her landing in trouble, she says her sister is emotionally drained.
But deep down, I know she's tired. I know she's exhausted.
A deployment now 266 days in that could quickly become one of the longest in history, now with conditions Caudill says are not okay.
Been out almost a year under these unimaginable conditions, and I just feel like we should be ashamed of ourselves. Honestly, we got to do better.
Hopeful they will be on solid land in Norfolk soon, but left questioning when that day will come.
It's tiring and exhausting. I don't understand why they can't come home.
Now, with all of these concerns, an additional concern with the damaged laundry area on the USS Gerald R. Ford. Sailors have not been able to do laundry. Now, I spoke with a U.S. defense official who says they have backup laundry spaces for those reasons. Derek Lytle, 13 News Now.
All right, Derek, thank you. And U.S. Senator Mark Warner commented on the state of USS Gerald R. Ford, saying, quote, "The reported scale of this fire, which has now left hundreds without beds amid this near historic deployment, is incredibly concerning."